Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. I don't know what happened before, but you know when you go against the powers that be, you know weird things can happen. But it looked like everything is good for right now. If something was to change, then we just have to regroup. But if you just tuned in, can you please share out this show? This is a very, 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 very important show. Very, very, very important show. I apologize for what happened before. I don't know what happened. But take a minute to share out this show. Hold on one second. I'm sharing it out myself. Look like everything is all good right now. Yeah, I apologize for that. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you guys. But this is a very, very, very important show. Let me get it back out there again. Yeah. So like I was saying before the BS happened, for those who don't know, my name is Tramel Thompson. I am a New York City train conductor. I'm the founder of a group called Progressive Action. And we talk about all the stuff that the MTA do to us, how they treat us, and things of that nature. But we just experienced a good man passed away yesterday. And his name was Van Christmas. For those who don't know, Christmas was a ATD at Brighton Beach, and he fell victim to this whole COVID thing. And I've been down all day behind this. To be honest with you, I really didn't want to do the show. I mean, this was a great guy. This guy cared about his family. He cared about the job. He was a great supervisor. If you work in transit, you know that you have a lot of bad apples when it comes to supervision. You have a lot of great people when it comes to supervision. And he was one of the great ones. And his death definitely bothered me a lot. So like I said, I was contemplating on even doing a show today. Really, really, really bothered me, man. Really bothers me. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today. And I'm going to talk about, I'm going to break down these characters for you who are responsible for these deaths. I'm going to break down Cuomo to you. I'm going to break down the chairman, Pat Foye. I'm going to break down Sarah Feinberg for you. They are liars. They are only worrying about making the governor look good. They do not care about us in any form or fashion. And to all you media people that's out there, I need you guys to pay attention. In fact, Sarah Feinberg threw a shot at you guys today that I think that you guys should fire back. We're going to get into that later too. But to all the media out there, we need you guys to continue to put our stories out there. But you guys are not doing the job that I feel that you guys should be doing. Y'all not getting our real stories out there. But that's one of the reasons why we created Progressive Action TV, was to get our real stories out there. But we need you guys to do a better job. You know what I'm saying? The MTA trying to bully you guys, calling y'all behind the scenes and saying, hey, don't put this out there, retract this. And you guys are actually doing it. That's not true journalism. That's not being true to the story. We need you guys to stop that. Now, the first person we're going to get into is Cuomo. Cuomo has been in the media talking about, you guys are heroes, this, that. And like I said, it's good for people to hear that we heroes. It means something to people morale when you say those types of things. And it makes people feel like they are part of something instead of being the subject of discipline and being, some supervisors make you feel like shit around here. That's just the way it is. And one blessing to this whole thing was Byford. Like I said, we're going to get into Byford a little later. He has a special message for the workers of New York City Transit. But Cuomo, let me get into the video that he said the other day before I get into this full discussion. Check it out.
Also, the first responders, the transit workers, you look at the rates of sickness. I mean, they know what they're exposing themselves to, and they still do it. I mean, just God bless them.
We know the rateness of sickness that we get ourselves into. And his response was, God bless them. Did you guys see how he was uncomfortable in his seat when he said that? Body language means a lot. I got from that, like, when somebody, the sarcasm when he said, God bless you, he didn't mean that from the bottom of his heart. That God bless you that he said, he really meant, you guys are fools. You know the rate of sickness and illness that's going on here in New York City Transit, and you guys still come to work? God bless you. It was, like I said, it wasn't a God bless you as far as like him having our back or anything of that nature. It was like, you guys are fools. And we are foolish to continue to come to work. When we closing in on we may be at 50 deaths so far for New York City Transit. If we not at 50 now, we definitely closing in on it. Like I said, if you just came onto the show, can you please share out the show, whether you're on Facebook, if you're watching us on Twitter, can you please share out the show? I'm gonna do it again on my personal page. But take some time out to share out the show. But Cuomo and Foye and Feinberg, they found a new word for us. And that new word is called heroic, being a hero, heroism. And they calling us those words to make us feel good. I need to remind you guys of something. Because we are only heroes because they need us right now. We wasn't heroes when this happened. Were we heroes when that happened? Y'all remember when Cuomo called us thieves? We wasn't heroes then, right? He called MTA workers thieves. And for some reason, something was going on in Long Island Railroad, which I don't know, but New York City Transit workers paid the brunt of that. We paid the brunt of that. We heroes now, but a couple of months ago, we was just thieves. Now, if you are a hero, Cuomo hired a former prosecutor. Her name is Picorni. So what's her full name? Carolyn Picorni is her full name, right? We heroes. He hired a prosecutor to investigate the overtime allegations, and not only the overtime allegations, to investigate everything in New York City Transit and the MTA and all. But for some reason, the target was New York City Transit, the same place, the same people who he calling heroes now, he was calling thieves. Now, I touched on this before. Miss Picorni. This is on the MTA website, and I'm going to read this to you guys because I need you guys to understand that this hero stuff is BS. It's BS. You can't go from calling us thieves a few months ago to heroes. And then I'm gonna show you guys the things that he has done. Now, Miss Picorni, she began her career as a federal prosecutor in the Brooklyn U.S. Attorney's Office, where she headed the office narcotics and money laundering program. There she devised the national strategy for charging the leaders of Mexico's most powerful cocaine cartels, including El Chapo and led the international investigation that resulted in the conviction of over 30 leaders of the Colombia's Norte Valle cartel. Do you treat your heroes by sicking a federal prosecutor on us that took down El Chapo? Do you do that? We are not heroes to this man. My mother always said, pay attention how people treat you when they don't need you. When they need you, you're going to be the best thing in the world. When they don't need you, that's what you need to pay attention to. When Cuomo didn't need us, he called us thieves. He sicked Carolyn Picorni on us, who took down El Chapo. He want to call us heroes, but they treat us like trash when they don't need us. I'm going to play this video for you guys. Check out this video.
They work down under. Over 5 million people depend on them every day. They tackle 800 miles of tracks that stretch throughout the 5 boroughs. So the hours are long, but their patience is running short. These MTA employees are fed up and exposing a dark secret exclusively to Pix 11.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because when you're in your cab, and can you imagine using your bathroom in the cab, and then you have your fellow employees going past because you don't want to call it in because you're scared that they're going to penalize you for something that's a natural, that everyone does. Everyone goes to the bathroom. You can't avoid that. So, but you have to do it there in front of people. So it's degrading.
And it makes Kimberly McLaurin's job as a train operator tough. Real tough. You see, this 9-year MTA veteran says working conditions underground are unbearable, especially for pregnant women.
There's no accommodations for pregnant women down there. So imagine as a pregnant woman, you know, a baby's waiting on your bladder, you might have to go to the bathroom at least one time during your 3 trips, a 3-round trip. But you're scared to call that in. Women have even stooped to the point where they have to take cups to pee in a cup during service.
With no bathroom breaks and a lack of lunch breaks, McLaurin says she and her colleagues complained, but nothing was done to fix the problem. Some MTA employees even rose above ground to protest, a black coffin symbolizing their desperate struggle. Conductor Tremel Thompson recently filed a grievance against the MTA.
Why do we have to choose between using the bathroom and eating?
You're underground and you haven't had a lunch.
I'm frustrated. I'm upset. I don't want to talk to no passengers. I don't want to give no directions. I don't want to do anything. I'm human. I'm not a machine.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the MTA replied to Thompson's allegations, saying, "We are in full compliance of the collective bargaining agreement with respect to lunch breaks. The train operators and conductors who work through their scheduled lunch receive premium pay for doing so. Mr. Thompson is raising issues that must be collectively bargained during contract negotiations and not through the grievance process." Train operator Trevor Logan has diabetes and must choose between breaking the rules and risk suspension or jeopardize his health.
I know out of my 5-day shift, I can guarantee I know 2 days that I will not see lunch. If you don't eat, it begins to affect your mood. For me, it affects my mood and it begins to affect my health.
This is how Cuomo treat his heroes. Cuomo treat his heroes by not providing us lunch breaks. A lot of people think that we get lunch breaks. When things are not running good, we got to choose between using the bathroom and eating. And this goes for pregnant women too. If you're pregnant, the MTA don't care about you. This is how they treat their heroes. They treat their heroes like trash. We got to choose between eating and using the bathroom. Like I said, this includes pregnant women, diabetics too. They have to choose between eating and using the bathroom. And they created a rule that say we can't eat and operate, even though we shouldn't have to eat and operate. They still created a rule about it. They have absolutely no light work positions for women, like light duty work for pregnant women. Pregnant women are working up until their 9th month. Is this how you treat your heroes? Like I said, Cuomo is only calling us a hero because he need us right now. When he didn't need us, we was thieves. I don't care if you work. I don't care if you give birth, operating a train, pulling garbage, operating a bus. I don't care if you give birth on this job. I don't care if you're a diabetic and you don't eat. That's how they treat their heroes when they don't need us. But now there's something serious going on. Workers are dropping like flies. Now we heroes. Please do not buy into that hero narrative. It's all BS. And since we such heroes, Cuomo, we didn't forget, you vetoed our Tier 6 bill in 2018, December 2018. 2019, you said that you would fix it for these heroes. It's 2020. We haven't heard anything about fixing Tier 6. This is how you treat your heroes? It's all BS, people. Don't fall for that hero narrative. They only doing this for us to come to work, to make them look good, make the subways look good, and get people. Listen, first of all, we want to get the people to where they need to be. We just want to do it safely. They don't have us doing it safely. They trying to rip us of our dignity. They don't give us lunch breaks. They treat us like trash day in and day out here. If it wasn't for me loving what I do and helping people and being in point A 1 minute and the next hour being in another position of the city, I love this part of the job. I just hate the politics of it because they do not care about us. Under any circumstance, they do not care about us. Cuomo, what happened to Tier 6 for your heroes? What happened to Tier 6 for your heroes? I mean, these guys are so full of it. It's crazy. And then we got Pat Foye, professional liar. And I said this before about Foye. The only reason Cuomo will appoint people moving forward and they stay in the good graces of Cuomo is if they continue to lie, throw shade, and be deceitful for Cuomo. That's the only way you remain in the good graces of Cuomo. The only way. The only way. And they are purposely doing it, but they tripping and they lying bad. They not even good at the lying that they're doing. And I'm surprised that the media is not picking up on this. They are blatantly lying to you guys, to the workforce out there. They are blatantly lying to us. Let's get into what Foye said regarding a New York Times article where he called the New York Times behind the scenes, threatened them about something, and had them retract some of the article. They took out Gomez had a statement in the paper. They took that out and they made it more MTA friendly. So whatever you got on them, God bless you, because you don't have that same pull and power over here. I wish you would call and speak to the members and let me speak to you and interview you for real from a essential worker point of view that work for New York City Transit on what you're doing and what you're not doing. Now let's get into your lies that you decided to spew the other day. And if you look at the second paragraph, it says, since March 1st, when the first case of COVID-19 was identified in New York, the MTA has taken aggressive action to protect the health and safety of our heroic workforce on the front lines of this crisis. Pure lies. Pure lies. Since March 1st. Let's get into a little bit of their timeline. Just a little bit. I didn't pull everything. We go get into a little bit of their timeline of how they were lying. So remember, he said since March 1st, they've been taking aggressive action. And trust me, they were not taking aggressive action. Their action was actually insufficient, inadequate, and highly unacceptable. So remember, they said since March 1st, aggressive action. Let's look at some things. This is a safety rule dispute resolution form. The date on this is March 2nd. March 2nd, MTA managers, MTA supervisors said that we couldn't wear masks. In fact, if you look at number 2 of this form, it says wearing a face mask in public violates Uniform Code of Bulletin 135-19. if he was taking serious and aggressive action since March 1st, then why they were trying to levy discipline on us by saying that wearing a mask was against uniform code? Now, once something is against code or is against the bulletin, it will result in discipline. One thing the MTA is great at is disciplining their employees. If this train operator, which was Ben Valdez, if he continued to wear this mask, they would have disciplined him. So what aggressive action did you take, Mr. Foye? I'm interested to know. Remember, their date was March 1st. They took serious and aggressive action. Let's look at something else. This was posted in a bus depot. It says, attention bus operators, as per AGM and Senna, face masks are not to be issued to you. This was dated 3/19/20, March 19th, 2020. They was taking serious and aggressive action since March 1st. What actions were they taking if their AGMs, a manager, if their managers 18 days later was still saying that we were not to wear face masks? Bus operators were not to wear face masks. What serious and aggressive action were they taking? It's all lies. It's all lies. Just recently, I received a picture that was dated March 14th. This is from the central facility of their supplies. Someone from that facility sent me a picture from my last show to say, hey, look, they're lying. They had these supplies and they never moved them. So a couple of, was it like 2 days ago, I may have tweeted the same picture and say, hey, nobody's getting these N95 masks. This is a picture of a whole bunch of N95 masks there. They claim that we didn't have masks and we were going to get the masks, but these masks was there for at least 2 to 3 weeks prior to me exposing this. So I end up exposing it because the MTA is funny. They don't block me on Twitter for a reason, because they need to see what I'm talking about. I keep them abreast as to what's really happening out there, because Sarah Feinberg, she don't care what's really happening out there. It's all a front. It's all about her. Pat Foye, he don't know what's going on out there. He's lost too. The people who reporting to them is lying to them because they don't want to be held accountable. They are lying to Pat Foye. They are lying to Sarah Feinberg, and it has to come from these actos. It have to come from possibly Paul McPhee. It have to come from possibly Barry Greenblatt. They have to be reporting to Sarah and lying to her, and they probably getting lied to themselves. But the actos are in the field. The actos are in the field. The actos don't care. Y'all already know my problem with a particular acto and how he feel about safety. This is not nothing new, right? So they had these masks, these N95 masks that they refused to give to us. So I put it on Twitter. Guess what happened? A couple, maybe less than 48 hours later, I get another picture. The masks are now moving. The masks are now moving. This was the mask on a pallet going to a terminal and being delivered to the terminals. Now, all of a sudden, we are being given masks. This was April, I believe, 7th. This was April 7th, I believe. They were saying that they was taking serious and aggressive action. Let's go back to the picture. Let's go back to the picture, because I don't like to talk about things where I can't show you guys proof. The second paragraph, since March 1st, when the first case of COVID was identified in New York, the MTA has taken aggressive action to protect the health and safety of our heroic workforce on the front lines of this crisis. So we got them on two lies and how they really feel. March 1st, they wasn't taking aggressive action. That's BS. And we are not their heroes. We already explained prior in the beginning of the show why we aren't their heroes. You know, we're their thieves. We all that other stuff. So it's BS. That's two lies that we caught them on. Now, the second to last paragraph, this is another big one in which he lied. And I wish that you media people please put out the correct story after today. I'm showing you guys the proof. I take my time to upload this stuff into these programs and so everyone could see. I don't want to show you guys talk and not show you guys proof. That's why we do this at Progressive Action. So the second to last paragraph says the MTA's pandemic plan is a blueprint that we have followed and improved on since day one. Unfortunately, what the plan, like others nationwide, did not contemplate was that the medical guidance during this specific period would be not to use certain stockpile items for employees. Let's look into that. And to be honest with you, I caught this kind of late. I caught this actually while I was putting the information into the show. And I said, hold up. What are they talking about? So they said the plan, like many others nationwide, did not contemplate was the medical guidance during this specific period would be not to use certain stockpile items for all employees. What the hell are they talking about? Let's post the screenshots of this pandemic plan. What are they talking about? Look what I got squared off there. It says stockpiling of materials. In order to ensure the general pandemic materials are available to address a pandemic influenza wave, a 6-week supply or as directed by the PC. I'm going to explain to you who those guys are. They very important. The PC/CMT of the following materials will be stockpiled, including, and they give a list of the items: hand sanitizer gel, mask, and all that other stuff. And it also tell you, remember what they said. They said that the specific period would be not to use certain stockpile items for all employees. This screenshot actually tell you what stockpile items that they supposed to use for the employees. So what are they talking about? I mean, Pat Foye is blatantly lying to you guys. What is he talking about? It specifically says what stockpile items that we are supposed to get. It says it. And it says what titles. It says it. So what is he talking about? Now let's look into this PC CMT person. So the PC, hold on a second, let me get to that. I need to make sure that this is right. The PC person, that stands for Pandemic Coordinator. The New York City person identified as the Central New York City Transit Coordinator regarding pandemics. That's an important person in this. To me, the next important person, and I think the most important people of them all, are the Crisis Management Team. That's the CMT. Now, the CMT, I'm going to read what it says. Team of New York City Transit Senior Management convened by the New York City Transit President at the recommendation of the Pandemic Coordinator during a pandemic outbreak. So, Sarah Feinberg was supposed to know about this. The CMT will organize and coordinate New York City Transit response during a pandemic as indicated in its policy instruction in the departmental specific pandemic plans. The team shall consist of senior managers that have the authority to make decisions and implement actions from Occupational Health Services, Department of Subways, Department of Buses, Operations Planning, Office of System Safety, Department of Security, Material, Labor Relations, Corporate Communications, Government and Community Relations, Workforce Development, Capital Program Management, and the New York City Police Department Transit Bureau. It seemed like they could control every aspect of this pandemic plan. It specifically states that the CMT team have the authority to make decisions and implement actions. Why were they relying on the CDC? I need someone to help me understand that. Why was the MTA relying on the CDC? I don't get it. And during that narrative that they said, let me go back to it because it's very important. The lies in this is beyond. I'm bewildered that they would blatantly lie like this. So they said the MTA's pandemic plan is a blueprint that we have followed and improved on since day one. Unfortunately, what the plan, like others nationwide, see, this is where they like to shift blame. They like to blame others, or they like to say, hey, it's not only us, it's others nationwide too. That's BS. They love phrases like that. They like to play the blame game. But like my mother said again, you point one finger at someone, there's three pointing back at you. There's three fingers, there's a whole bunch of fingers pointing back at them because that's all they do is blame. And like others nationwide, who cares about others nationwide? Who cares about others nationwide? Why are we focusing on what other people are doing nationwide? Don't use others nationwide when it benefits your lying narrative or it helps shift blame your lying narrative, because others nationwide, bus operators got separate interests to get onto their buses, nationwide and international. Why didn't you guys implement that? For the safety of at least bus operators, give them a separate door to go into where they completely closed off from the public. Why don't we do that? Why don't we implement that? Others nationwide, aren't they doing that? Other transit agencies also stopped their service. They realized that their service was going to possibly transmit this virus. They stopped the service, and they got essential employees in their states and their cities. Why isn't that a problem for them, but it's a problem for us? Why don't we do that, others nationwide? But you guys only want to do others nationwide when it benefit your narrative, which is sad. Which is sad. Now, the business behind the MTA is that the MTA, they operate as their own government. They really do. Of course, they try to do it within the law, but they break plenty laws all day, every day. And it's because they are a state-run agency and the governor is the boss of the MTA. So who's going to sue the state when the governor is in charge of the state and he runs the MTA? So you can't go to the Department of Labor and say, hey, the MTA is not giving us lunch breaks and we want to sue them or we want you to do something. They know if they had to give subway personnel lunch breaks, guaranteed lunch breaks, it would destroy service. It would destroy service. So what did the governor do? The governor took our lunch thing off the table. So you can't sue the MTA because they're their own government. That's why they got an MTA board. They are governed by themselves. That's why Cuomo appoints a certain amount and the mayor appoint a certain amount. Who you think those people on the MTA board who are appointed by the governor, who you think they're going to side with? Who interests you think they're going to side with? What's best for the MTA or what's best for the governor? Because like I said, the governor only want people who's going to lie and deceive and cheat for him. That's all he want. That's all he want. And if you look at all the MTA board personnel who was appointed by Cuomo, they all did what he wanted them to do. He did what he wanted them. They did what Cuomo wanted to do. He's the boss, right? So they operate as their own government. And this MTA board, they rule on fares, contracts, contractors, capital development, and other. They rule on a whole bunch of things. They don't go to the federal government to say, hey, can I raise fares? No, they do it themselves. They decide when they want to raise fares. They vote on it and they make it happen. And that's why it bothers me when they say, the CDC said that oh, we shouldn't have gave you guys masks. You know, we was listening to their guidance. Why are you listening to their guidance when you're your own entity? There's absolutely, Pat Foye, I need you to do me a favor. Point me to a law, a piece of legislation, or anything that says that the MTA has to listen to Trump's CDC. I don't get it. Cuomo is not fond of Trump. He don't like Trump, but y'all go listen to Trump's CDC. That makes a whole bunch of sense to me. And that's just something that you guys chose to do and scapegoat, since you really didn't want to give us the mask. The issue is that you guys didn't want to give us the mask. You have a crisis management team that could have made the decision to give us masks, and you guys made the decision not to give us masks up until, or you guys didn't start giving us the N95 mask until 2 days ago. So 41 people had to die before you guys decided to give us masks. And then within that same sent that, like I'm reading from the second paragraph from the bottom. They mentioned something that says something about medical guidance. Once again, since when did the MTA need guidance from any exterior source outside of the MTA on how they're going to treat their employees? They don't get guidance, like I said, from the Department of Labor to say that we're supposed to get a certain amount of lunch breaks. They don't get guidance from the federal government regarding light duty work for women or presenting some type of light duty work for women. They don't go get guidance for that. They don't get guidance on a whole bunch of things that don't benefit them. But when they want to scapegoat someone, then they're going to get guidance. They want to talk to the federal government. They want to do all this other stuff. It's BS. It's BS. The MTA don't know how to pick a side and stay on it. They have no idea how to pick a side and stay on it. And like I said, I'm going to put this picture back on the screen. There's a big rumor going around that we did have these masks all along. And Cuomo gave the masks to the healthcare workers. He took masks from my stockpile and gave it to the healthcare workers. We would never get the truth on that because everybody on the 20th floor on MTA 2 Broadway would definitely lie. And for those who don't know, the 20th floor is the executive floor. Labor relations is 13. So anything above 20 and above, 19 and above, 20 and above, you're going to get the cold-blooded liars, big time. And that's kind of messed up if Cuomo took these masks from us and gave it to the healthcare workers, because no other agency or set of people working together have more deaths than New York City Transit MTA workers. No set of people, not NYPD, not FDNY, not sanitation, not even the healthcare workers who are on the direct front line of this thing. This is beyond crazy if they did that to us. And Foye came out with a letter yesterday. Let me see. Yeah, he came out with another letter yesterday, April 8th, 2020. And I'm only going to touch on, if you're watching this from TV, first of all, hold on. If you just tuned in, could you please share out this live? If you're on Twitter, retweet it. If you're on YouTube, share it out. If you're on Facebook, share it out. Take a second to share it out. I'm going to read the first two paragraphs of More Lies and Deceit. I want to take a moment to pay tribute to the 41 brave MTA colleagues who have tragically lost their lives on the front lines of this pandemic. Their passing is heartbreaking and unimaginable loss to the MTA family and to New York. Our thoughts are with their families and loved ones at this difficult time. I want to thank each and every one of you for your heroism, selflessness, and dedication to the public service. You all inspire me with your courage and commitment, rising to the occasion just as you have always done as we combat this crisis. No less than the healthcare professionals, you are heroes of this crisis, making sure all other essential workers, doctors and nurses, first responders, pharmacy and grocery store workers can get where they need to be and do their jobs. There they go again with you are heroes of this crisis. We wasn't heroes a couple of months ago. I got to keep telling y'all this because we have a short memory here at New York City Transit. We were not heroes a couple of months ago when they was calling us thieves. We were not heroes when they only gave us a 9% raise over 4 years. We were not heroes when our healthcare emergency room copay went up and our drugs for medications went up. That's not how you treat heroes. That's just not how you treat heroes. You don't treat heroes by giving us plantation justice and the arbitration suite of 2 Broadway for simple mistakes. You do not treat your heroes like that. This is the culture of the MTA. It's all BS. And Mr. Foye, if you want to have a real conversation, call me. You got my number. You got my email. Call me. If you feel that I'm saying something wrong, then let's discuss it. Call into the show. Let's discuss it. But you're not going to be able to lie to me. No, none of you guys can. You're not going to be able to lie to me. You're not going to be able to deceive me or anything like that. Now let's get into the last player before we get into this whole Byford thing. Miss Feinberg. Miss Feinberg is she's interesting. Let's look to see if she's first qualified for the job. I'm gonna let you guys choose that. We're gonna run down her work history and we're gonna talk about some things. So this is actually on the MTA website. I believe so. Yeah, I believe it's on the MTA website. It says Sarah Feinberg is the interim president of the New York City Transit. Before that, she was a member of the MTA board. She is the founder of Feinberg Strategies, in which we will talk about, a strategic business and communications consulting practice focused on the tech sector. Now, Ms. Feinberg history is in communications. She's like a communications expert. I wouldn't consider her expert, but if you look at her LinkedIn, her expertise is communications. To make a jump from communications to running New York City Transit, that's mind-boggling. But if Cuomo made this decision to put her there, then it's because she was gonna be the most willing yes man to actually do the job. And she's proven to be a yes man so far. And we're going to break her down. We're going to break her down. I got some stuff for you guys. So the MTA like to brag about, she came from the Obama administration. She was a rail administrator and things of that nature. Let's talk about that. I found this article online, and I spoke about this before. And it says top U.S. rail administrator has little train experience. And this is from 2015, 5 years ago. So she got appointed into this position. She had no experience. She got appointed into this position. So at that time, she had little train experience. And we're not talking about subway train. We're talking about real railroads. Right. And there's a difference between railroads and subways. So it's a big difference between the two. And at that time, 5 years ago, she had little experience in that position because she was appointed. And I'm not mad at you, Ms. Feinberg. You spent the majority of your career being appointed to positions. Not because of your aptitude, but because, I don't know, you got appointed. Because it's obvious that you don't have no experience. Because that's what they saying, not me. So a part of that article, it says, the last paragraph, but her executive experience doesn't include running anything the size and complexity of the FRA, and she does not have much experience with railroads. That's led some to question whether she's a good fit to lead an agency widely thought to need an urgent overhaul. Now that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. Everyone know that New York City Transit needs an urgent overhaul, and we thought we had that when Byford came on board. But then he left, and then she happened. She has no experience. You know, some of her prior jobs, like I said, she's a communications expert, if you want to call her that. She worked for Facebook. That's one hell of a jump. How you go from working for Facebook to running New York City Transit? Does that sound right to you guys? Does that sound right to you guys? And the MTA on her profile, and I wish they take it down and tell the truth. You know, it's something prestigious to say that you work for the Obama administration, that you worked for President Obama directly. It's something prestigious. Now, I don't know to what extent that she really worked for Obama or under Obama, but once again, did she get appointed to this position, or was it her aptitude? One thing that the MTA failed to list on a job website was that her husband, she was formerly married to Dan Pfeiffer. It's on the screen. You can look at it. She was formerly married to Dan Pfeiffer, a key White House advisor whose service to the president dates back to Obama's days as senator from Illinois. So let's think about this for a second. Her ex-husband, which was her current husband at the time when she worked under the Obama administration, worked with Obama since he was a senator. When Obama got elected into the president, of course, he brung him on board. So Mr. Pfeiffer, hey, Prez, my wife do X, Y, and Z. You think you could get her a job in here? She'll be great. Sure, let me see whatever credentials. Okay, yeah, she could be in charge of this. Another appointed position. So the MTA, I need you guys to go on your website. And when you mention that she worked under the Obama administration and she worked for Obama, I need you to put that her husband was a part of the Obama administration before she was, and that he helped her get that job. You guys need to tell the truth. So basically, Ms. Feinberg's whole career, she got these jobs, maybe except Facebook. I think she was qualified for Facebook. But all these other administrative jobs and presidents or whatever the case is, she was appointed to them. And if she want to challenge me on that, you ain't got to challenge me. Challenge the facts. It's out there on the internet. They said she had little railroad experience. We know that she has no subway experience. Her MTA experience comes from her being, I think, a moderator on the MTA board. That subway experience, that makes you experienced enough to run the subways? I don't think so. And so look, yesterday, I was talking to Mr. Byford, right? So, to be honest, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. We did not talk about anything that was going on with the leadership of New York City Transit. We didn't talk about Pat Foye. We didn't talk about Sarah Feinberg. We didn't talk about Cuomo. We didn't talk about any of that. And me and Byford, we have a weird relationship, I would say. When he worked for New York City Transit, the same fire that I'm giving Pat Foye and Sarah Feinberg and Cuomo and others, I gave it to him too. But I had a respect for him because he kept an open line of communication with me. So instead of me going on making shows about him and things of that nature, once we got the mutual respect for each other, I would email him and he would get right back at me. No matter how vicious I was in the email, He always came at me level-headed and said, Tramel, one team. Trust me, Tramel. One team. I'm going to work on this. You got an issue with that? Okay, I will look into it. He never chose sides. He never showed me no favoritism. He never did any of that. Any of that when it came to him. And yesterday when we was talking, we didn't bring up really no MTA stuff. The only MTA stuff that we brought up was he was worried about his colleagues here, a word that he branded for us, his colleagues. And I was just like, look, I let him know how I felt because I'm a frontline worker, right? And, you know, he said what he said. And I said, look, don't tell me, just tell the people, right? So that's how that went. So I said, look, people not gonna believe that, you know, you asked for them or whatever the case was. So I said, let me take a screenshot of this, of us talking. And he said, okay, no problem. So that's why I put the screenshot out there with Byford. And I was smiling in the picture because a lot of people don't know that Byford is actually a funny guy. So the whole time I'm talking to him, he's telling me about his experience in Plymouth. He's telling me how he's stranded. We didn't talk about no where he may go, where he may land at. We didn't talk. We was actually like cracking jokes on each other. So I never seen him with hair on his face. I said, hey, what's going on there? You know, I didn't know you could grow hair. And actually I said that while I actually took the screenshot or whatever the case was. Because that's when we actually first started video chatting. We was talking prior to that audio when he told me what he said about, you know, he was worried about the people here. I said, all right, let's go on screen. And then we started joking or whatever the case was. Even the picture that I took, that me and Jocelyn took with him at the Black History Month event at 2 Broadway, before we took the picture, I forgot what he whispered in my ear, but it was funny and he made me laugh. So I had to keep the smile when they took the picture because I couldn't fake it at that point. He said a joke in my ear. And he's like one of 3 people who always come, like when I'm around him, they say something funny. I got a friend named Udi, he does it. I got a friend named Rollo, he does it. And Byford does it too. Anybody who know Byford personally know that he's a funny guy. And giving you an example of, I had ran into Byford one day. I was out of work because I had surgery. I think it was in October sometime. And I seen him at Prospect Park just off the whim. Oh, what's going on? Mr. Byford said, oh, you looking spiffy. And, you know, I'm laughing. I said, oh, no. Like, what you mean I look spiffy? So he's cracking jokes or whatever. And this was the time when he first quit. And I told him, I said, look, don't you ever do that again. And he said, Tramel, I just did that to make you shit your pants. And we laughed and we giggled. That's the kind of relationship we had when I wasn't advocating for the members of issues that was going on and things of that nature. So I said all of that to say that when I put the screenshot out there, I'm quite sure the MTA people at 2 Broadway, they got nervous, they got scared, and they probably thought that, oh my God, Byford and Tramel is talking. Byford probably told Tramel everything. And and that's what I'm about to play a video from Sarah Feinberg that she put out yesterday. And I'm quite sure it came after I posted that me and Byford was talking and he was going to be on the show or whatever the case was. And I know that they're nervous. I know that they thought that Byford was talking about whatever, about what was going on at 2 Broadway. Let me ask you guys this. You think Byford would tell me what's really, or what really took place at 2 Broadway, knowing that I could be volatile? You think that he would tell me that they don't really care for us, or they are liars, or they lied about this, or Tramel, they wanted to do this to you? And you think he would tell me that? You think Byford, I think Byford likes me. I think he likes a lot of people. But do you think that he trusts me to the point that he would tell me what they're doing up there at 2 Broadway? I don't think so. He knows that I would go and I would go on these shows and I would tell the truth. And I wish he would. I wish they would make him mad or something, and he knows something, and he say, "Hey, Tramel, I got some information for you," or you need to know this, and that you should put this out there because I don't care no more. I wish he would do that, because I think that the people need to know how these people really moving out there. But we didn't talk about that yesterday. But Sarah Feinberg, she was nervous. She went and tried to get ahead of the problem and make a video. Let's listen to her video. And then we go get to Byford again.
In New York City Transit, I just wanted to check in during the middle of what has been yet another horrible week for all of us. We're now in our 6th week of being on the front lines of fighting this virus. I want to say thank you again to all of you who are showing up every day, day in and day out. You are the reason that New York City is able to continue to fight this virus, continue to treat those who need help, continue to provide healthcare and groceries and medications to the people who need it. If we were not showing up every day, moving the city forward, moving New York's essential workers, I do not think that New York could be battling this virus the way that it is. You are all heroes. The city knows it. The governor has thanked you. He knows it. The men and women of New York City are praising you. They're thanking you, as they should be. You are doing heroic, amazing work. I could not be more proud to be a part of this team and to be a colleague of all of yours. I know that your grief and sadness is overwhelming. We have been devastated by this crisis. We have lost so many of our colleagues and our brothers and sisters and members of our New York City Transit family. I know all of you are mourning for them. You know their spouses, their siblings, their children, and their parents. They were your friends and your colleagues and your partners and your office mates. But you have my word that we're going to continue to do everything we possibly can to keep you safe. We've distributed millions of gloves, but we need to distribute more. We've distributed hundreds of thousands of masks. We need to distribute more. We've distributed thousands of gallons of hand sanitizer. More needs to go out. You have my word that as long as I am at New York City Transit, I will do everything I possibly can to keep you safe during this time and during all times. So I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication to the public, to your city, to your state, to your brothers and sisters who need you, and to those who depend on you every day to get the care that they need. I promise you the public is grateful. Ignore the haters, ignore the media, listen to the public, listen to the rounds of applause that you're getting at 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Listen to the Manhattanville apartments cheering you on. Listen to your colleagues who are wishing you well and rooting for you. Listen to those of us who are saying, if it were not for you, the city would not be able to fight this crisis. You are on the front lines of a war and a battle, and I want you to know that I am so grateful. Thank you for everything that you're doing. It is the honor of a lifetime to be a part of this team, and the honor of a career just to know some of you.
That's pure BS. Now, she may be a communications expert, but she's a horrible actor. Let's break down some of her video. Get this off the screen. Let's break down some of her video. Oh, first of all, if you just joined, can you please share out this live? If you're on Twitter watching, share out the live. If you're on YouTube watching, share it out. If you're on Facebook, please share it out. She said, "We have been devastated by this crisis." Who is we? Ms. Feinberg, Mr. Foye, Cuomo. How are you guys devastated by close to 50 workers dead because of the coronavirus. How are you devastated? I don't see you guys devastated. I see you guys being business as usual. I see you guys don't care. Like I said, we just got masks the other day, N95 masks the other day, and you guys had a supply of them for a while. I don't see no devastation. She said, you have my word. We are going to do everything we possibly can to keep you safe. She actually going to keep us safe rant. That's a blatant lie. They have actually did everything to keep us unsafe. Look how long it took them to hand out any type of mask. They told us we couldn't wear masks. Let's go back to that picture. Let's go back to that picture. Just a couple of weeks ago, face masks were not to be distributed to bus operators. It was the same thing in subways. How were they taking our safety serious? She said, ignore the haters, ignore the media. That's very interesting. Ignore the haters, ignore the media. Who are the haters? Would the haters be the employees, the essential employees, the heroes that they talking about, that is coming on Facebook, that is talking to the media, saying that the MTA is not taking care of us and they don't care about our safety? Are you calling the employees the haters? Of course you are. In one breath, she say we're heroes, and then in the next breath, we are haters. Who are the haters? Read between the lines. She are calling the employees who is talking out against what they're really doing haters. What kind of mess is that? She also said, ignore the media. She wants you guys to ignore the media. Now, to you media guys out there, you guys should take offense to this, because I think you guys are doing a damn great job promoting her lies in you guys' newspapers and TV programs. You guys are doing an excellent job promoting her lies. So now she's upset that you guys are giving the workers, the hero workers, a platform. She's upset at that. Now she wants the people to ignore you guys. You know what? To the media, I think you guys need to start ignoring her and strictly speak to the workers and get the real story. If you want real stories from the workers, I don't have to be in the article. I could point you to workers who's going to talk about what's really going on here. Without a doubt. That's kind of like a smack in you guys' face to say ignore the media. Ignore the media. And Ms. Feinberg, I asked you nicely. Please stop using that word colleague. We are not your colleague. You do not treat your colleagues the way that you treat them. Hold on one second. Ma, I gotta call you back. I gotta call. All right. That was my mother. Gotta pick up for your mother. She don't care what you're doing. You could be in the middle of a show. You could be doing anything. You gotta pick up for your mother, especially during these times. You could be with this corona stuff. You could be here 1 minute, going the next. So definitely make time for your loved ones. So she want the people to ignore you guys. I think that was it. Oh, I was saying the colleague stuff. Please stop calling us your colleagues. We are not your colleagues. You do not treat us like your colleagues. And Mr. Byford is the one who branded that colleague stuff, and it's fake for you to use it because he actually treated us like his colleague. You don't treat us like that at all. please stop. I'm asking you nicely. Please stop using that word. We are not your colleagues. We are not your friends. We are nothing but a pass number to you. Do me a favor. Please stop using that. And that goes for you too, Mr. Foye. Do not call us your colleague. Just say the employees or Local 100 members. Do not call us your colleagues. I'm not your colleague. She also said, you are on the front lines of a war and a battle. But guess what? Sarah Feinberg and Pat Foye left us ill-prepared in the battlefield. If she's saying it out her own mouth, we are on the front lines of a war and a battle, wouldn't as the commander-in-chief, you would give your soldiers the proper equipment, PPE, in the midst of this battle and war? Wouldn't you do that? This is why I say don't use that word colleague. We are not your colleagues. We are not your colleagues. What type of commander-in-chief send their employees, send their soldiers into war where we getting our butts kicked, 50 casualties in a few weeks before you retreat and say, we are doing something wrong here. We are doing something wrong. Why are all our workers dying? Why do we have the highest death rate amongst city workers in New York City Transit? We are doing something wrong here. I'm going to tell you what they did wrong. They wasn't handing out the masks, the gloves, they throwing out all these numbers, millions of gallons of hand sanitizer, million pairs of gloves and masks, and all these fictitious numbers, which they could probably draw up some type of distribution list and lie and say that this stuff was handed out. If it was handed out, I guarantee you some of this stuff is in one of these managers' homes in their basement or attic for their families. I could guarantee you that. So what kind of commander-in-chief would do that? We are at 50 or close to 50 right now in deaths. It was high 40s last time I checked. What kind of commander-in-chief send their soldiers to the field without the proper equipment unless you want them to die? They want us to die. You want to know why? They don't want to give us a pension now. 50 people died. That's 50 pensions they don't have to pay. Makes sense to me, right? Make perfect sense to me, right? What kind of commander-in-chief don't take blame or their own fault? Why they don't want to acknowledge the receipts of their mistakes? Instead, they want to point fingers at Trump's CDC. Trump's CDC. Makes sense, right? It make perfect sense. But to the media out there, I think you guys need to. She want people to ignore you guys. I think you guys need to ignore her and do more worker stories. I think you guys need to do that. I think that she said don't listen to the haters. One minute they calling us heroes, next minute she calling us haters. Who are the haters? The haters are the employees who saying, hey, they saying that they giving us masks. We haven't got any masks yet. What's going on? It been 3-4 weeks. 50 of us have died. What's going on? So are we heroes or are we haters? Make up your mind, Sarah. Now I bet you this. The CDC came out with new guidance. And this fits the MTA narrative. They have not been telling us who tested positive because they having staffing issues. So they haven't been telling us who been testing positive. They just been having us come to work. And if you don't say that you're exhibiting symptoms, guess what? You're not going out to be quarantined. So all of a sudden, the CDC, Trump CDC, came out with a new guidance, and I'm going to read it. And this is from the TWU New York, New Jersey State Conference. Here is terrible new CDC guidance advising that workers who have close contact with a COVID infected individual can continue to work, revoking previous guidance that such workers should be isolated from others for a period of 14 days. The new guidelines do not require or even advise that exposed workers be tested or put any requirements on employees to take steps to limit worker exposure to potentially potentially affected individuals. Wow. So they went from bashing the CDC to now secretly practicing their new guidance. Which one is it? Are you going to blame the CDC or are you going to practice their new guidance? Which one is it? Which one is it? Now, this was the last formulated list of MTA workers who have passed. It's really 40 COVID victims and one train operator who died a hero in a fire a couple of weeks ago. Very sad. But this list have grown. It's close to 50 now. And probably, unfortunately, when this show go off, it probably will be 50. I mean, we losing people, about 3 people a day almost from COVID. And it's sad. But these are the 2 people that's responsible for the deaths of almost 50 coworkers. What they have done, what they have exhibited, what they have practiced since this coronavirus hit, it was criminal. It wasn't malfeasance. This was criminal. They purposely left us out there to die. They purposely rolled out the red carpet for the coronavirus to attack us. And that red carpet is not going to lead to a VIP. That red carpet is going to lead to an ICU and potentially death, as we have seen with many of our coworkers. I'm expecting when this to be done. I'm respectfully asking. Matter of fact, I'm asking before it happens. Ms. Feinberg, you should resign. This is not for you. Your inaction, your lies, your deceit, your crocodile tears. We see through all of that. I'm respectfully asking you to step down and resign. Mr. Foye, same thing goes for you. You have no expertise in a business like this. You guys, fresh eyes, that's what you got like to call it, fresh eyes, caused close to 50 deaths. I'm asking you to resign also, respectfully. This is not a job for you guys. If you want to continue the lies of Cuomo, if you want to possibly not have another job again, because you got to get out while you can still get out, because there's no way possible. I could see this thing going into 100 deaths, unfortunately. But since you guys like to look at trends, since you guys like to look at apexes, you guys like to study data, the route that we going on, there's going to be 100 employee deaths. And we are looking at that number by at least the middle of May. So I'm respectfully asking you guys to humble yourselves and resign. This is not jobs for you guys. You guys have caused my coworkers, my colleagues, my friends, deaths. You guys have been lying since this thing hit. You guys need to resign ASAP. Now let's get back to this picture right here. I spoke about it a little bit. So when I posted this picture on the internet, it got a lot of likes. Nobody have heard from Byford. Well, I don't know. The Daily News did an article on him. I don't know. I forgot the date of it. But he didn't speak to particular things. And like I said yesterday, we spoke about regular stuff, no MTA stuff. But Sarah Feinberg got upset. I mean, not upset. She got nervous, obviously. Oh, one real quick thing. I gotta point something out to you guys because I almost forgot, and I would have been mad if the let me put that video back. Let me see something. Let me see if I could restart that video. Loop. Okay, hold on. I want to show you guys something on that video. I don't know if someone said it in the comments yet, but I want to show you guys something on that video. I can't play it again for some reason. Let me see. Let me see. All right, let me try it now. Yeah, I want to show y'all something on this video.
In New York City Transit,
real quick.
I just wanted to check in during the middle of what has been yet another
Y'all see this video?
Week for all of us. We're now in our 6th week.
Where is she doing this video from? She doing a video look like from her home. Why isn't she in her office telling us how proud she is of us? It sounds like she's in her closet. So she's congratulating us to be at work, but she's in her closet making videos. Telling us how heroic we are, how much we mean. We already know how much we mean. We already know the job that we do. We already know. But the disrespect of her to make a video, all because I posted this picture of me and Byford exchanging jokes on FaceTime. They got nervous. Oh, we gotta draw first blood. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. Man, I'm telling you, I wish he would tell me what's really going on up there, so I could really expose exactly what's going on. So, this is what happened. I got the Byford thing coming up. It's actually a video because we couldn't get our timing together. And to be honest with you, I do admit that I'm volatile at times, and I'm upset, and I didn't want to ask him something that was going to put him in a position, because to be honest, I don't need him, and we don't need him to throw dirt on them. We don't need him to throw dirt on them. They throw dirt on them on their own self. On themselves. They throw dirt on themselves. If you listen to what they say, you go on the internet, you look what they write, and they throw dirt on themselves. We don't need Byford to say, hey, look, this is what's going on, or they doing this. I know we will want to hear it. I want to hear it myself, but I don't want to put him in a predicament to have to defend that at all. I don't want to do that. We don't need him to do that. So what I asked him, I said, look, let's just do a video of exactly what you spoke about, what you wanted to know, and what was on your mind. And he did that. And I want you guys to listen to the video because it sounds like something is going. Let's just play the video. Let's get. Matter of fact, before I play the video, I need you guys to donate to the Cash App Progressive Action 100. If you want to donate to keep the platform running and doing things like this. And think about this. I want you guys to think about this. If I didn't have this platform, if Progressive Action didn't have this platform, I won't be able to play or show you guys what Byford is saying. You know, I won't be able to do it. So if you want to donate to the Cash App, donate to the Cash App. If you want to donate to through PayPal, this is the PayPal Progressive Action. And like I said, I wouldn't be able to do this without the platform, without people donating and things of that nature. So please continue to donate to the platform. And before, like I said, before I go into this Byford stuff, could you please like and share the video? If you're on Twitter, like it. If you're on YouTube, like the video. If you're on Facebook, can you please like it? I'll give you guys a little minute to do that. Like. It's important. It helps people see what's going on and things of that nature. But this video by I joke with him and I call him President Byford, but I don't want to call him that now because I don't even want his name tied up into this craziness right here, because it's crazy. Feinberg and Pat Foye need to stand on those titles because that's who they are. And I'm not y'all like to call him Train Daddy. I don't call Puff Daddy. I'm not calling Byford Train Daddy. That's just not happening. Mr. Byford, he gave us a special message to us MTA workers. And like I said, when the video go off, let me know what you guys think. I don't want to start no controversy. I don't want to put nothing crazy in the air, but let me know what you guys think. Let's get into the video.
Byford here. I just wanted to send a short message to New York City Transit staff to just say that I feel so badly for what you're facing right now, and that I'm not there to face it with you. I wish I was, which sounds odd, but I wish I was, because you guys always had my back and I always had yours. So I'm sitting in Plymouth in the UK, in England. I'm trapped here. My wife's still in New York, and I was trapped by the travel ban. But to be frank, I'm the lucky one. I'm not having to face what you're facing every day. It's just heartbreaking reading the figures, the amount of people who've passed just rising by the day. It really is a terrible situation over there, and I can't begin to imagine how difficult it must be for you and your families. So hang in there. We will get through this. It's bad here in the UK as well. I'm also obviously aware of what happened to poor Garrett up at 110th Street. Just an awful situation. And I do hope whoever did that to Garrett gets brought to justice. If I'm back in New York by that time, I'll be going to the courthouse to hopefully watch the person face the justice that they deserve. So hang in there, guys. Stay safe. Look after yourselves, look after your families. As soon as I can, I'm going to get back to New York, and my first port of call, once the situation allows, will be to go up to members of transit staff and give them a big hug to say thank you for everything that you're doing. I really appreciate it. I miss you. Can't wait to get back to New York. Just stay safe, my friends. You take care.
What y'all think of that? What y'all think of that video? What do you guys think of that video? Now he did say, I mean, one of the real reasons we didn't go live is because we didn't have the time. It was a scheduling thing, and it was off the whim, and we didn't want to talk about things that we didn't want to talk about the MTA and their leadership and things of that nature. We already see that. But he wanted to get that message out to you guys. I'm gonna play it again. Let's play it one more time. Let's play the video one more time. Exclusive of Mr. Byford during this pandemic. He mentioned Garrett Goebel. He actually signed our I forgot what you call it, but we want to get 110. We want to get 110th Street turned into Garrett Goebel way or place or whatever the case is. We want to get the station renamed or subnamed after him. Oh, he signed the petition. Mr. Byford signed a petition, so he's paying attention to what's going on. I'm gonna play the video one more time. Let's go.
Sandy Byford here. I just wanted to send a short message to New York City Transit staff to just say that I'm so I feel so badly for what you're facing right now, and that I'm not there to face it with you. I wish I was, which sounds odd, but I wish I was, because you guys always had my back and I always had yours. So I'm sitting in Plymouth in the UK, in England. I'm trapped here. My wife's still in New York, and I was trapped by the travel ban. But to be frank, I'm the lucky one. I'm not having to face what you're facing every day. It's just heartbreaking reading the figures, the amount of people who've passed just rising by the day. It really is a terrible situation over there, and I can't begin to imagine how difficult it must be for you and your families. So hang in there. We will get through this. It's bad here in the UK as well. I'm also obviously aware of what happened to Paul Garrett up at 110th Street. Just an awful situation. And I do hope whoever did that to Garrett gets brought to justice. If I'm back in New York by that time, I'll be going to the courthouse to hopefully watch the person face the justice that they deserve. So hang in there, guys, and stay safe. Look after yourselves, look after your families. As soon as I can, I'm going to get back to New York, and my first port of call, once the situation allows, will be to go up to members of transit staff and give them a big hug to say thank you for everything that you're doing. I really appreciate it. I miss you. Can't wait to get back to New York. Just stay safe, my friends. You take care. It's Andy Byford here. I just wanted to...
There you go. You could tell the difference between his video and Sarah Feinberg video. His video was his message was much more genuine. It was filled with much more love. He really cared. He don't even work here no more. And he talking about when he come here, he's going to go to the courthouse to face the murderer of our beloved brother Gobu. He's going to come and give us a hug because of all this. I don't want the hug. You could keep the hug, bro. You could keep the hug, but he still care. And when I seen the video myself, and I don't want to say too much, but will he come back? Will he come back? I didn't ask him that, but this video made it seem like when he come back here to the States, he's going to at least still be on the transit property in the subways, probably at the terminals, because he can't come back in the terminals because he's not the president, he's not an employee no more. But he's going to be around in some form or fashion. The question is, would Mr. Byford come back to New York City Transit? We will see. We will see. I hope it will be nice. We will see. Well, that was today's show. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.